Shalom, call Yahweh Shem Shah, and Shalom to the elect, Shalom to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that actually help kick this stuff off. And I happened to see this video online that says this information is wrecking our beautiful nation, which that's actually false in itself, because the facts that's coming out is wrecking Babylon. Now I'm gonna go to this preset real quick and I'll let the video play a little bit. It's an actual hour-long video. I'm not gonna play this whole video. You can check it out and go into it and build upon it. And the Spirit hits you to do so. Which in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, in verse 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak." But then before I even read that verse, let me go back up one more verse real quick. It's in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. It says, "And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run their readers of it." And the main people that's really going to run, actually push this word out, is the elect. They're going to be able to break this stuff down to a T. Now reading on some more, it says, "For the vision is yet for the appointed time, but the end shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." So all this stuff that was mentioned, all these years, this done passed, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that was written back in those days. That's not gonna happen in these days," and all this other little shit that people like to say. And the scriptures clearly tell you, though it tarry, wait for it. And that's what certain men been waiting on. Now, that don't mean go around and just be slothful and be bummy or whatever. Of course, you gotta live your life. But the main thing to be paying attention to is these prophecies coming to pass. And this is something serious, man. Esau know they do. Look at Esau, man. They holding talk shows and sit-downs. They trying to figure out how they can give reparations back out. They feel shame now.
I won't take a lot of time. I'm not a politician. But I thank all of you that came here today. The support, of course, is incredible. My family, I lost my in-laws, both my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, in separate elder care facilities. We had no idea there was a March 25th order to put over 9,000 COVID-positive patients into nursing homes. I wish we had known that. And for 46 days, that mandate was in place until it was reversed and scrubbed off the health department website. And a lot of news agencies, news companies think that this is breaking news. We have been shouting from the rooftops for 10 months. 10 months. And I have yet to hear this governor say in front of a microphone, "I am sorry for your loss." That would have been a good start. This is not about politics. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about what's right and what's wrong. And that's why we're here today. The governor has blamed everyone except the man that signed the mandate. Everyone except the man that has been covering up the numbers. He's blamed God. He's blamed Mother Nature. He's blamed Fox News. He's blamed the New York Post. He's blamed the nursing home workers. Those that went in there and tried to care for my loved ones when we could not go in or have wakes or funerals or have rights or hold their hands.
That's the nature of Esau. For Esau ain't gonna admit to their bullshit. Esau fucking up the whole planet, wanna go to a whole nother planet and fuck that up too. They're not gonna admit, these Edomites. When I say Esau, I'm mentioning the actual forefather of who you call the white people right now, or white men, or Caucasian people, or whatever. They're not gonna own up to that. Them type of elites, them governors, them politicians, senators, they're not finna own up to that. Let me find this one precept. It's the book of 1 John. Let me see. Yep, that's what I want to get. This is the book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 4. It says, "He that said, I know him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him." And Esau always talking about, oh, this is a God-fearing country, and God bless America and all this stuff. They don't know the Most High for real. Now they know the history of what he did to these different nations. But for some strange reason, they just feel like that's just going to skip past it. That's because they some deceitful, deceptive serpents. And that's how they carry themselves, man. They'll push all this shit out and then play like, oh, we didn't know what was going on, we didn't know what was happening. The whole time has been a part of their agenda.
We did not see them. The only time my husband was allowed to go see his mom was when she was dead through a glass window. What is that? That is not humanity. So we have to make sure this never happens again. And to Ron Kim, who has been by my side from the very beginning, who has been so brave, who has had personal loss, because I'll tell you right now, it's the ones that have had this loss that will be the ones to usher in change. And I speak for all of the families here today and for all of the families who don't have a voice. We are grateful for your support, and we will not stop even when these cameras shut down. Thank you.
Let me pause it real quick. This is a precept I want to get when I play some more. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. It says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So you gotta think about the type of characteristic this person had at that time, and his descendants have those same characteristics. Just like when a person have kids, their grandkids, people from your lineage, they do some of the same stuff you do, whether it be sports, music, poetry, biology type work, other scientific type work, some stuff, electrician, carpenter, whatever, different stuff. That shit goes down through your bloodline. So the same shit as Esau, man. Ain't nothing changed, just the name changed. Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So a person that sell their birthright for some uncooked meat, you think they give a fuck about people for real? Like, come on, be real. And that's why that governor mandated that them 900 people. And of course they're gonna say they had what they had. They could say they had the Crown Royale, but the whole time it could have been something else to get people sick. And they placed them amongst people that wasn't sick. And then a fucking mini little virus broke out, and a lot of people died because of that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Wayne Dupree, and we are live here on the Wayne Dupree Show. I am that little blurb, that opening was to remind everybody what happened in New York.
I love it. Yes.
All right.
I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, we don't want to forget what's happening with the nursing home deaths in New York, and that's why I wanted to start off with that, because Janice Dean has been at the forefront of what is going on. The disinformation that's going across America that Andrew Cuomo put out, and trying to hide things and stuff. He claims that, well, actually it's hiding more than a little bit. But let me introduce, before we go forward, let me introduce you to our co-hosts, Ms. Leah Bella and Mr. Brian Smith. We are being sponsored by
Let's skip past a little bit. I want to play all that. That chitter chatter.
Just goes and goes because, she's not, like she said, she's not being political. This is coming from her heart. She's lost loved ones. When you lose someone that you love because of someone else's bad decisions, that lights a fire.
And you be mourning, and that's why the scriptures say this. When the righteous are in authority, people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, what happens? Book of Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2 it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And that goes back into the book of Job, knowing who the wicked is. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. They cover the faces of the judges thereof. They're not wearing, who is it? So who doing all this stuff? Let's get a little visual of the top devils that do this stuff. Unless we really control shit. No fucking president controlling none of that. No, I ain't gonna read it verbatim because I know Esau got they little word monitor, little program activated with this type of stuff. So you have to kind of be a little bit. I won't say a little bit. You actually have to be wise when putting this stuff up. So I'm gonna just read. The Rothschild family is a wealthy. I'm gonna just say Amalekite because that's what they really are. It's a wealthy Amalekite family, originally from Frankfurt, that rose to prominence with Maria and Schmel Rothschild, a court factor to the German landgraves Hesse-Kassel in the free city of Frankfurt, the Holy Roman Empire, who established his banking business in the 1760s. So these devils been doing this shit for years, man. And it's prior to that too. They say 1760s, where you had other stuff going on in the 1600s and stuff too, 1500s as well. And then you had this little saying that be going around, oh, Esau was done away with, the Edomites don't exist no more. But these Edomites, they know exactly where they come from. That's why I got the information with the Holy Roman Empire. There was a time when some of our people was ruling there, just like how you have right now over in Babylon. You have governors, different senators or whatever, mayors that may be from a certain lineage. They actually have some type of power and authority. That happened as well back in ancient Rome. Everybody wasn't just pale over their ruling. You had people of color that was actually ruling too. That's the history they try to hide. Dark Ages, same shit. They always be like, oh, we don't know what happened for 1,000 years during the Dark Ages. They know what the hell happened. They asked us in captivity for 1,000 years and up in them caves and up in the Caucasus Mountains. That's what happened for 1,000 years. And they don't want that history to be known. Because that means it was a point in time when they was down, then they had to crawl back out and come back on top. And this is around the time period when all that stuff started happening. From 1500s up until the 1700s, that's when they really started getting back on top. And that's when our people was going off when keeping the commandments, not following the guidelines that the Most High laid out for us. So that's the only reason why we fell off. As long as you do that, you got a hedge of protection. You following those commandments. But as soon as you stop, like you ain't paying homage to Yahweh Shah, your hedge of protection gone. And then the base of man end up ruling over you. And Esau is the base of man on earth. Let me go into some of the visuals. They got some up here. These are the people that's running the earth, man. These Amalekites. And they descend from Amalek. They don't descend from Yahweh. They don't descend from Judah. They don't descend from Benjamin, Levi, Naphtali, Issachar, Zebulun, Reuben, Gad, Manasseh, Ephraim. They don't descend from that. They come from Amalek. And that's why people mourn. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And you got people mourning. They got people that's fake happy because they be high and shit all the damn time. But when that high be gone, they be mourning again.
And that's what you're seeing from her. And, and I'm happy she's doing it.
Right. When you've got pinned to the top of your Twitter page, my in-law died in a nursing home. Yeah. I took on Cuomo and their names, the opinion piece. You know, if people didn't have to die and they died, and then you covered up the death, then you lied about the deaths, yet everybody's dead and didn't need to die, or I don't know, one or two people that should never have died because of decisions you made. Somebody's got to be held responsible. I know these politicians make decisions all the time, and for some reason, it's an unwritten law. Y'all ain't punished for the crap that y'all do. Y'all need to be punished.
And that's
Seriously.
And that's what's
what
gonna
I'm
happen.
saying.
And I ain't gonna play the rest of this video. I just wanna play a little bit of this clip, just so you know I can go in on a few precepts. I basically just talk about how disinformation is not what's wrecking this whole little setup. It's the scripts, man. Back during slavery, I guess certain stuff that we can do now that we couldn't even do then. And that's a sign of Esau losing his power. Because when they had more power and a stronghold over people, certain stuff wasn't allowed. Like me being able to just read the scriptures and break them down and share them with people, whatever. Or being able to go out and go teach. Man, I'd have easily got put to death. Or lock him as well. But now, they can't just roll around and do that. They got to come up with some type of little hidden agenda or try to infiltrate certain stuff or do whatever they do to try to bring stuff down. But that shit ain't gonna work though, because when Esau make that little move, man, I'm gonna pull this precept and I'll pull the other one in this off. When Esau pulled that move, boy, that's why the Most High say, here's the patience and the faith of the saints. But you gotta be patient, you gotta be able to wait, just chill. You ain't, do the work, but just chill and just wait for the Most High to move everything in a position. Let's see. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 59 verse 19. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west. And where are we at today? We in the west. It says, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. Because they gonna come, man. Esau real crafty when it come down to forcing their agenda. Even though the Most High put the spirit on them to do certain stuff, but they have a way of doing shit that's just part of their nature. They're a cunning hunter, and they blessing as a sword. So they can't do nothing with words. Let me take that back. They do a little bit of trickery with words, but when it actually comes to being truthful with words, they can't do that. When they come down to actual physical hand-to-hand type combat, they're not doing none of that. When it comes down to being spiritual, they're not doing none of that as well. So what they're gonna do? They're gonna come in like a flood with their swords. But the thing they forgot about is how the Most High like to use spiritual power to make a stand against that. And that's what this scripture talking about. They say the Spirit of the Lord should lift up a standard against them. That standard, Esau might send 50 men from one person. Like the time of Elijah, when the 50 troops came upon him, and he called on the name of Yahweh, and rained down fire from heaven. That's the standard right there. You don't actually need no gun or nothing for that type of stuff. That's the type of stuff that Esau fear, because they don't know exactly who it's gonna happen to. They can't be like, okay, we need to pay attention to this person right here, because he gonna be the one with spiritual power. They don't know who the Most High elect is exactly. They might have a little clue, but they don't actually know. I'm ending this off with this precept, and that'll be it for this video. That's in the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 10. It says, when the righteous thrive, the city rejoices, and when the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. And that's why when when Israel, the actual man that's supposed to be ruling, get back in power, people gonna be happy, man. People want righteousness. Most people be diving into all that wickedness and all that shit deep down in their soul and their spirit. They want something that's right. They want to be done right, treated right, have a fair and a well-balanced environment. Not this bullshit that Esau don't set up. So when Esau took out of power by Yahweh, and then the righteous men be set up, people gonna be rejoicing. Even these heathens, they be looking down on people, they gonna be rejoicing. And like in the book of Isaiah says, our gates should be open continually. And we're gonna get the forces of the Gentiles. So I just wanna bring this out. Ain't no disinformation, it ain't no but facts. That's what I deal with, and I'm sure other Akim as well deal with the facts. Opinions don't have no basis to them. So, most when this edifying call on Yahweh Hashem Shah, and Shalom to the light.